Hey guys, this is a quick summary of our second Infento build, the Taxi. My 6-year-old daughter was fascinated with the Gecko XL that we had recently built, and quickly became fixated on building the Taxi. I'm pretty sure that one of the big reasons she picked this particular model is because it's listed as being intended for ages 3 to 6, so in theory none of her siblings would be allowed to ride it. Anyhow, I was hoping I would have enough components to build the Taxi without disassembling the Gecko, so we started by unboxing our Genius Kit expansion. In the end, we were short by just a few parts. For the missing seat, I stole half of the Gecko seat. For the fasteners, I was lucky enough to have some M6s in my garage that were close enough. For the handlebars, we used some short pieces of hexagonal axle and then just covered them up with some leftover bike hand grips that I had in my garage. But to get the axle clamps, I was about to give in and take apart the Gecko, until I realized I could probably 3D print this small plastic part. After a very short Google search, I found a CAD model in 3D Warehouse, and I asked a buddy from work to print it out for me. It worked surprisingly well. Tolerances were a little tight, but nothing that couldn't be overcome. The biggest downside is that the 3D printed axle clamps failed when my 12-year-old decided to ride around on the Taxi. While looking over the failed parts, I realized that this might have been prevented if the print orientation was 90 degrees different. As it is, the pinch bolts are straining the interlayer fusion, which is further exacerbated by the weight of the rider because the axle clamps are pointing towards the back. If I were to redo this, I would print the clamps in a better orientation, and I would probably change the axle clamps to be oriented down instead of aft. This would raise the ride off the ground a couple more inches and would put the 3D printed part in compression. I might also use a longer aluminum profile if I wanted to maintain the original wheelbase. The kids had a lot of fun riding the Taxi, and I think it was a little easier to steer than the Gecko, but it was out of commission once those 3D parts broke. When we eventually disassembled the Gecko, I put the original Infento axle clamps onto the Taxi, and it was back in service for another week or so until we took it apart.
You buy it in a box and you get to build it yourself. Like it gives you materials and then you build it. It was fun and I liked doing it. Now we're gonna have to take it apart.
This is a great project for me because my 6-year-old usually prefers to spend time with mom, but she was super excited and motivated to work with me on this one. Anyhow, thanks for watching.